Hey, party people, it's Cliff. It is a bright day today, but not a lot of people know this. In fact, they want to hide it from you. They don't want you to know this. You ever hear those sayings on YouTube? Where the people that are talking about it are trying to keep a secret from you? That's a trick in order to get you to watch their videos. Because the whole reason for it is like, if you don't know, you can go. It's all good. The lady, walking. A lot of people walking around in the neighborhood this morning. That's authentic. Driving out here doing a good thing. Hopefully no cars are coming. All right, no cars are coming. I always don't like that turn because you just can't see anybody coming around the corner. Because not a lot of people know this, but if you make a turn around the corner, you just can't see the cars. But I always find it funny that all the YouTube videos that I watch will have some sort of iteration of like, they want to keep this secret from you. Not a lot of people know about this. They want to hide the truth. They this, they that. They want to keep it from you. And it's that curiosity, it's the curiosity that killed the cat. You want to know. You want to know what happens. And our brains are wired to figure out, like, it's just wired to know the conclusion of something. And stories do this exceptionally well. Because with a story, you have your setting, right? You're establishing where we are, who are the characters, what do they need to do, what's the problem, how to fix the problem, or how to solve the problem, how to resolve the story. So yeah, that's my little nugget of information. And that's it, really. This video just needs to be like 3 minutes, because whenever you hear that phrase of like, not a lot of people know this, it's like, okay, well, how many views on your video do you have? You have 100,000 views? Oh, okay, people know this, And in fact, you could even argue that the incentive for folks on YouTube, especially if they're getting their income from YouTube, is to do what the trend is. And the trends, you'll see this often, right? Like the trends are usually, obviously right now it's the Iraq War. About a month ago it was the Epstein files, and the Epstein files are still in there. It's the Epstein, like, usually if things last longer than about 2 to 3 months, like in the internet, like, ecosystem, that's usually not a trend. That's sort of a real thing. And then that goes back to what I was saying the other video, where it's like, in order to avoid scams, you just gotta wait. You just gotta hold on, like, relax. It's the same thing with like reacting to all the internet trends and all the internet videos. It's like, just wait, just react. Like, you gotta take the time and the due diligence to look through all the stuff, make sure that you got it right, instead of just emotionally react. But those phrases are like, not a lot of people know this, but they want to keep it from you. And there's all sorts of iterations like that with folks on YouTube. And every time I watch a video that says that, I'm like, here we go. Okay, not a lot of people know this. Like, and then the next sentence will be exactly the topic that they want to talk about. And then the topic after that will be, the next sentence will be, and this is the problem. And then they'll have a whole bunch of explainer stories that are like, this example, that example, this example, cut to a person who also has that particular example. And then at the end, sometimes it'll just be like, this is a problem. Or the better videos are like, here's how you solve it. And the thing is that, like, YouTube doesn't have, the incentive for people to watch. I got to get in the left lane here because there's a truck and that's stuck in the lane, and so everybody's got to be kind of nice here. He's moving. Not too bad. Good on him. moving in or moving out, whatever works in this California landscape. But the incentive for people to like make videos is like following the trends. It's doing their part. They're going to do the thing that's going to get them the most views. And what gets them the most views is saying, you know, a lot of people don't know this, to pique your curiosity. Here's a problem in the world, in the society, and you're like, oh, that's getting you emotional. And it doesn't matter what side you're on or what group or tribe you're part of, you know, what your friend groups are. You know, that's always a thing to get you, to like pull you in. There are a couple of educational videos that make sense, but really, I don't know. It's good stuff to watch, but you don't learn anything from watching videos. You don't, you know, like if you're watching this, which nobody is, which is hilarious, you're not learning anything. You're just either reinforcing the ideas that you've already had, or you're completely shutting it out and being, you know, and looking at that creator and saying like, oh, they're completely wrong. Like, I'm not going to listen to them again because it's not what I like. Because my mind is, your mind is going to be attracted to the things that you like. All the technology guys got it down pat. So too, us Hollywood guys, we know exactly how to get your emotions. That's funny. That's why I'm like very adamant about, you know, having a little bit of breath, you know, having it a little bit more real and not doing too much. You know, there's a bus stop right over here, and I guess there's a movie poster on it. So the reminders of him, March 13th, which is, you know, a couple days ago. That movie poster's been there forever, and I don't even know what that movie is. I guess that's the thing. There's just so much stuff out there to do in the process that you gotta find what you like, and, you know, hopefully you don't let the algorithms do that for you. But yeah, I think to some degree everybody knows everything. Like, if you imagine for a moment that any sort of device or object, or, you know, even the cars and the streets that we, you know, drive on, there's at least one or many people who are an expert, who have spent their entire lives doing that one thing. You know, there's people that spend their entire lives building homes, and they know exactly how to build a home. There's people that, you know, put cars together. There's people that design the cars. Like, there are people in this world that everything that we consume, these sunglasses, this shirt, you know, this seatbelt, like, there's an expert on everything, and we get inundated with all this kind of, you know, even whoever made the phone, right? Whoever put it together. There's a knowledge base in that, you know, this watch. It's crazy. You know, not crazy, it's just that's the state of the world. Like, there are experts, you know, and specialties that people do with everything. And that's cool. It makes the world, like, you know, a more engaging, I suppose, interesting place. Lots of folks out there. Lots of cool things to get, you know, buy some Legos. You know, people that make signs, they put up the street signs. You know, people that are making the sidewalks, you know, putting up the power for the telephone poles and whatnot. So it's like, I guess you could also wrap it around that says, like, well, a lot of people know, just like anybody, you know, I know a lot of things about a lot of things. My specialty is making documentaries and telling a story. Now, that specialty is is not me talking and telling a story. that is probably what I'm working on with doing these silly videos. But I do understand how like film, television, networks, we all get our sense of the world through the TV screen, through the phone screen. And if I were to backtrack the last year of my life, it's been one, like in my small neighborhood in Texas, I get on a plane and like, I don't know, like I know that there were pilots, on the plane. I know that there's like air traffic controllers and like, I know there's people that do the thing that makes the plane go from A to B, but I just go in there and I sit down and the stewardess comes by and they're like, oh, here's a Coke for you. I'm like, thanks, and some peanuts. Like, oh, great. Everything's sort of done for you, but there are specialized people that know it. And I guess if you wanted to connect it all together, right, is that not a lot of people know about this? It's like, well, there's people that know how to get in a car and on the tarmac at the airport and back up a plane. There's people that, and there's a wider group of people that knows how to sell cars, or there's even a wider group of people that knows how to do finances, right? Like tax people. It's tax season. So I don't know how to link it together, but it's always funny. That's the that's the world we live in. Everyone's a very specialized expert in something. And well, as the old saying goes, jack of all trades, master of none. Or actually the reverse of that. It would be like, a master of one, and all trades about, but you don't do them, right? Long ago I played ice hockey. Good stuff. Like, worked out, all that jazz. Played it at an ice skating rink. Made a lot of friends there. Great time in my life. And there's always that conversation. It's like, oh, I could be in the NHL. Like, no, I can't. I guess that's one of the other things too. It's like, I'll never play in the NHL. I'll never be in the NHL. Never play in the NBA. Never do any of those sports. But you know what? They're like, I've been part of a team that's won an Emmy before, so that's not too bad. The Oscars were around, and I know some people I know editor friends who've won Emmys, on their documentaries. I know people who've won Oscars too. So that's my specialty, and I enjoy it. But for the most part, oh man, sometimes this light is like, well, he's going to, that's fair. That's the best part about California, is that you can drive unreasonably within reason. And that means, like, making a left turn on a red light because you just have to go, or else you're going to back up traffic all over the place. But yeah, not a lot of people know this. Just be wary of that saying. Not a lot of people. Like, it's a secret. Secrets, like hidden things. The best hidden things are the things that are, completely open and obscured by information out there. Stuff that you can't find, stuff you cannot search. Are we going to be able to make it? Maybe. I'm going to go. It's probably a bad move, but that's okay. Oh, the guy behind me, though. Probably a bad move. Probably should have waited. But that's okay. They'll be alright. I distinctly remember accidentally stopping in a crosswalk at one of these intersections, and then a guy comes over. I had my windows down. He he just yells everything, all the profanities, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, well, you're getting on I'm crossing the walk here. I'm like, totally a taxi driver, like, hey, I'm walking here type of thing. And I just look at him and I'm like, all right, well, he's going through something, like, sure, if people are reasons. People are, I don't know, it's such a small, like, people worry about the smallest things. I don't know. It's like, why make a big issue about a small thing that, in 3 minutes it's already over and nobody's ever thinking about it again. I don't know. But I am coming up on work. Let's see if I can get past this guy on the right. He's behind you. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, just be wary of that. When people say, like, oh, not a lot of people know this, like, they don't want you to know this. Just kind of take a step back and, like, look at it and be like, oh, all right, it's a little video nugget that they get you to continue to watch. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.